Hey, this is the Winner Circle podcast. I'm here with Paolo Sellari. He is Director of Product Management at Tangoe. Now, I've known Tangoe for a long time because I was in telecom for a long time. And so you guys have been doing telecom expense management, which used to be the buzzword of the day. And
Yeah,
now it's
absolutely.
about cloud and AI. So thank you, Paolo,
Right.
for joining and congratulations on the Stratus Award win, or excuse me,
Thank you.
wins.
Wins. Thank you, Russ. Really appreciate that. We're very excited about it.
Yeah, so now you guys are based in New York City, or you're in New York City, is that right?
I'm based out of Connecticut. We're kind of all over. We're a fully remote organization, but we do still have a headquarters in Indianapolis. But we're a bit global now, and the majority of our staff is 100% remote.
Yeah, and now the thing that amazed me as I was doing research about Tango is
Hmm.
I've known you guys for 2 years because you've won I think two Stratus Awards.
That's right.
I've known about the company longer than that, obviously being in
Right.
the industry. The thing that struck me was Tango manages $34 billion
Hmm.
of IT spend in
It's
206 countries.
It's
That's
massive.
nuts.
Yeah, it is. It is. And, I know we're talking cloud and we've won this award for 2 years, but I've personally been in this for 20 years. So I started with TNT that was then bought by, Vodafone, it came to Tango ultimately. So I've been in, like you've been in this market for a really long time. I've watched telecom to mobile to ultimately, hey, Paolo, can you take us to the cloud market as well and continue that technology spend? But I've watched that spend just go up and up and up as an organization and globally in more countries. It's pretty wild what we've been able to achieve and just how many dollars customers trust us to pump through our
It's
systems
an
and provide
astounding
insight.
number. It's
Yeah.
just such a large number. It's like, it's almost like a hedge fund or something.
Yeah,
You're
you
like
really are
34
managing it.
billion.
Right.
So the pitch, the Tango pitch is you guys come in and you look at you analyze the cloud spend, AI spend, and then your pitch is basically you're delivering 20 to 40% reduction in cost, right? So
Right.
and that's literally you guys come in, do your work. How are you delivering the 20 to 40%? Let's start there.
It's a great question, and that's going to be a mixture of hard and soft optimization savings. And we started this journey a little bit in the expense management realm, right? We took that telecom mobile routes you were talking about, and I attacked this about 6 7 years ago with just visibility of expenses, right? So what we did, chargeback, allocation, all that, and the market was ripe for give me optimization, save me money. I don't care about anything else right now. I got to bring this cost down so everybody stops yelling at me and then we can have other conversations. So we ultimately started working on optimization platforms and coupled that with, well, as you optimize, here's the visuals, here's what's going on. So we do it in a couple of ways. One thing is Tango, because we're an expense management driven organization and really good at the accounting and financials, and we were in the mobile and telecom business for so long, for optimization, that IT networking, compute, monitoring, we actually partnered with the optimization side of infrastructure with an organization called Densify. And Densify comes in together with us, and we kind of collaborate on this 20 to 40% savings because there's more than just, hey, you're overusing this EC2, or hey, this storage blob, you can decrease to this or increase and upgrade it to this one. It'll save you X per month. That's one of the main hard savings. That gets us sometimes to that 20% or more, depending a bit, Russ, on how large the organization is, how, for lack of a better term, how little they've been able to right size and really bring down their costs and evaluate what they can do. The other half of that savings comes from what Tango comes in to play with is applying FinOps practices. So helping customers say, look, this is your actual, this is your optimization recommendations. We're physically discovering, automatically going, looking at AWS, Azure, GCP, Oracle, looking at Kubernetes, looking at AI, GPU. This is what we can technologically reduce or modify to improve your costs. But on the flip side, Tango is also saying, as an organization, you can combine, you're spinning up services in these areas. You have projects coming up. We've taken your tags, your identifiers, and shown you where costs are actually coming from within your organization. So finance teams, marketing teams, sales teams, right? Whomever is also involved. Projects that you could say, we could spin that down. We don't need these anymore. We can now bring everybody together and everybody's budget is a part of our overall cost, and people start to say, well, I want to reduce my cost as well, or I actually don't need that project, or that was just something we were trying. It puts rules and processes in place. When you couple all that together, right? It's not just an optimization platform. It's not just a cost visibility platform. When you put them together, you get the immediate savings, low hanging fruit, the medium to long term, like architectural analysis, but the long term, like set processes in. So we don't get spikes or concerns or massive issues we have to fix in the long run. And that's really what we've over the years slowly been building, and with this partnership also helps us bring additional maturity to really help customers find those cost savings.
Well, and to me, it's like you're just describing, it's not only cost savings, right? This is a process that takes you
Right.
through into compliance and
That's right.
really, especially with AI and cloud, into some security areas.
It's 100% right. When about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when we started looking into the FinOps journey, and we saw a little bit of that, like, hey, that's what we talk about. That's great. All these principles are really in line with Tango's principles. We have about 20 to 30 certified FinOps practitioners now at Tango. Another handful in the specific focus program, which is a infrastructure standardization of data that we've also complied our product to help customers say, hey, we follow this focus acronym standard of compliancy across the different public vendors. But it was this like, hey, you need to know what's going on. You need to put practices in place and policies so that as you go forward, you're always articulating and your fingers on the pulse. Essentially, we try to tell customers that all the time, whether you're a finance person trying to rationalize what's going on with cloud to everything else in the organization, and you're like, what's my chargeback, what's my cost centers, I don't know what an EC2 compute is, nor do I care, but I'm very concerned about our $10 million cloud budget. Or you're in these other organizations spinning up projects, or you're in IT being, our poor IT gets it as well. Like, we want to host here. We need global hosting. We're trying to expand into this market. And you're just setting up these little pockets, and all of a sudden your costs are ballooning. So, without practices in place, whatever you fix today, it's like fixing a little bit of a leak. It's just going to spring up somewhere else, right? So, for Tango, it's about setting everything in place properly, everybody working harmoniously. And not only do you reduce costs, you just have a better clarity of what's happening, which means our customers end up making better decisions and everybody's communicating with less stress. So that's one of the things that is a little intangible, Russ. But we do like to tout it whenever we hear customers say, oh, I love having this dashboard for my leadership team. It makes everything so much easier.
All right, so I know I'm going to put the product guy on the hook now, but
Yeah, of course. I expect
we're going to
it.
make it tangible.
Okay.
So give us a case study. Like, what's one of your most recent examples? You don't have to tell names or anything, but
Absolutely.
what's a good reasonable kind of engagement outcome?
So we have I'm going to go work through one particular customer who came in to us, and cost was massive for them. But they were also, what was interesting, they were both FinOps practitioners. So they were bought into the mindset. We didn't have to teach them what it is. They were themselves FinOps practitioners in their organization and putting in the practice at their organization. But cost was massive for them. Their budgets were always super tight year on year, but they needed a lot of control and mechanisms. So they came to Tango and said, look, we do need to reduce costs. We need something that automatically gives us just constantly monitoring where we can save. And always being able to say, we can save here, we can save there. If we put this into practice, this is true calculated savings we can have tomorrow, plus keeps our business running as expected. But their biggest problem, and why we really loved them when we were in the sales kind of component of it, is they understood the visibility of data. They were finance people themselves. And they said, look, we have hundreds of millions of records. We have our own policies in place. We have these exceptions that we run across the organization. I can't pay an invoice until these 12 to 15 exceptions are analyzed. And every reporting system we have, or every product line we've used, some competitors of ours, they can't handle the reporting. There's no agility. We have our own Excel spreadsheet reporting and our rules. So we came in and said, pause for a moment. Here's what we can do. One, we're going to automate all that data coming in automatically. And I showed him in our demo site, here's hundreds of millions of records. We process this stuff daily. Look at the responsiveness of our BI layer. One, already, we got them there as a happy, like, this is what we need. Second, The BI layer is built in like think like a Tableau, a Power BI, build on the fly, construct as you need. We don't need, as a product guy, I don't need to go through cycles of development to release this and QA and all that. It's just, let's come in, let's build what's in your mind right now, and just we're pointing and clicking on the screen, dragging in graphs, grids, functions, everything to construct what they want. That's all good. We built alerts on the fly in the system as well. Their final component was, well, these exception rules are chargeback rules, are business finance rules, like allocate to this based on these cost centers or service lines and categories. What do we do there? And we have an area that allows you to input your business rules, your financial business rules, upload your own metadata. So we said, give us your exceptions. And when we implement, we are kind of a little bit of our secret. It's not a secret, but what we think makes us win, separate us, is we have a dedicated data team, Russ, on that implementation and with the customer. So when they come in and say, here's our data I've uploaded for you, here's the rules we use as an organization, we code that into their implementation. So right now that customer not only gets optimization recommendations, their exceptions that used to take them weeks every month to analyze and say, okay, we can approve, now they tell us takes 10 minutes because the report's automatically there for them, finding their exceptions. They can go at any point of the day, correct them if needed, or just validate them. They know it's being monitored. They got reports for their leadership, reports for themselves, reports for their finance team, and their business rules are in place. So now they're just on cloud nine because everything that was a day-to-day task is handled, and they're focusing on actually implementing these rules and getting more people in the organization bought in and asking us what's next, Russ.
Yeah, it's funny. I've seen it time and time again, and I've seen it with telecom expense management.
Mhm.
I've seen it with CRM systems and sales channels where, management buys into a new kind of system
Right.
like what you're talking about, and it transforms the business because
Right.
a lot of companies, in a lot of big companies, don't have this kind of rigid process data set mentality. And when
Right.
you buy a platform like Tango or Salesforce or something else, it forces you to do a lot of kind of new things, right? It
Mhm.
forces you to categorize your data and set expenses and set all those codes. And so it's really bringing that whole process to the organization, isn't it?
It's totally true because I used to say this to the sales guys as we're talking. They're like, I felt bad for customers kind of telling me their woes, right? That we have issue here. We're multiple business units. We don't communicate to them. They have different budgets. And to me, it was positive news as an organization because within chaos is opportunity for us. So the more chaotic or the more people don't want to communicate, it gives Tango a chance to come in and say, I can simplify bringing that together. You can still operate independently, but I guarantee your leadership wants to see everything holistically. So we're going to allow you to do that. And because I can piecemeal our way in, we can focus on little things at a time. So I'll get things like, Paolo, that's great, but I don't have time to make sure my tags are accurate. No problem. Let's act like they're not and just show you what it is. But and then in seeing the issue, then they want to fix it. Or I know what the tags should be, but IT team is just, they're inundated. How many tickets to fix them? Tell us the business rules. We'll update the data ourselves for you, right? Give you like a layer over it. And then if it gets updated actually in the back end, then we'll receive it as it comes. We're getting the data every day. So we're finding little, what feels like massive mountains for them to climb and showing them it's just a little hill. We're going to step across slowly, with step by step. We're going to get you there. Next thing you know, you've got processes in place. You're showing visualizations the way you're being asked, right, in a meeting to display them, and they're at a click of a button. So now you look more prepared. You look more like you know what's going on without having to scramble through all your spreadsheets because it takes a long time to put it together. And that's what we want to give people.
Yeah. And it's only getting more complex. I mean, well, you've been in the business 20 years, you said, I think
Yeah.
20 years, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I've been in telecom longer, but we're not
I
picking
hear you.
straws
That's
here.
right.
The interesting thing is it's the same practice, different
Right.
expenses. And
Yeah.
so now I'm wondering, we've got Gen AI coming in.
Mhm.
What happens now? We've got you guys have tackled kind of the telecom side, the cloud.
Right.
Now we've got AI plowing in.
Yeah. So, with the experience I've taken in from telecom, watching telecom grow to mobile grow to now cloud grow and the expenses, like you said, there's a similarity in our approach. We know what customers' issues are. And that's staying with the market. So Tango's always had to make sure it's staying ahead with the market, what's coming. So when I'm talking, especially as the product guy, talking about to our customers, not just features, I tend to in my user groups also say, here's what's are you doing projects like this? Is your leadership asking you to implement AI projects because they want to be ahead of the curve or they want to show that they're also being innovative? And are you concerned of those costs? Is GPU market costs gonna skyrocket for you and impact these AI deliverables as well? Is your Azure and you're using them to build your AI platforms? Do they have services that are going up? So this is where I want to make sure, one, we're looking at it. Two, we're starting to pull down and ingest data because number one, Russ, for Tango is get me the data. Once I can start saying I'm getting this data myself, already have all the foundations in place to analyze it, to conceptualize how to visualize this data in a meaningful way and ultimately find ways to improve that. And what we've started doing is we also work with our partners. So there's a reason I've handpicked a couple of cloud partners to work with me is because I wanted my customers to have the best focus of subject matter experts, no matter what we were talking about, because they have a cloud issue. And whether it's SaaS, whether it's UCaaS, Unified Communications with us, whether it's infrastructure as a service, whether it's chargeback, allocation, budget, optimization standards, I have the right people in place, all embedded together, working inside my product, but also their people. So we are talking about these markets together. So from an optimization standpoint, me and my partner are looking at, are we getting GPU? Are we getting NVIDIA data? Can we connect and pull down those specific numbers? Can we look at how they're spiking up and what connected AWS services are making that happen or the costs are tying to?
Wow,
Tango,
so
great. Can you do
you guys
that?
are looking at individual services and microservices down
That's
to
right.
that level. You're not looking at boxes and going, oh, that box is running and costing me 10 grand or whatever.
Yeah.
You're looking at
We're,
individual service
we
levels.
all the way up and down, right? We always say up and down
Wow.
that scope because the granular gives us the ability to categorize, and then we can visualize at that category. Your storage costs are this, your compute costs are that, your GPU costs are this. Oh, by the way, finance team, your cost centers are layered on top of that like this. And then the guy that wants to drill in all the way, I want them to be able to go down and say, in the month of September, my specific service line categorized to product under AWS was this much
Right.
and this much utilization. And it went to this place and it hit this budget because that allows them to say specifically, I have control.
Very interesting. So you guys look at this 34 billion in spend
Right.
and well, in my mind, you have all these client instances and it all
Right.
rolls up.
Correct.
I'm not sure if that's the way it works, but in
No,
my
no,
mind it
that's
does.
accurate.
What's kind of that big cost that most companies underestimate in that $34 billion? What's when they,
Yeah.
you do your work and 9 out of 10 enterprises go, I never thought I spent that much on.
So we're spread across telecom, mobile, and cloud costs. And that cloud for me, we joke around in the organization. It's like we have telecom, mobile, cloud, and then Paolo has SaaS, IS, UCaaS. So I almost have 3 product lines, services I have to manage within the one. But let's say within those 5, we start to see telecom gets kind of plateau as far as understanding. Mobile can go up and down if all of a sudden they want to roll out a lot of devices, things like that. Really, it's indicative. The same with cloud is shadow IT ends up being the scary price. I didn't know that this many users left the organization and had SaaS vendors associated to them. This many users are inactive against those vendors. These organizations, these business units are spending this much in AWS and Azure, and they're across these tags. And these are projects that we haven't worked on in forever. They spun them up as small projects. So shadow IT is a big, I hate to use sometimes it becomes such a buzzword, but what it means, what it identifies is just the unknown of where spend was happening that the organization isn't actually using. So the second you can remove all that noise, the next biggest cost really comes into just daily operating and being on a service that you didn't know you can upgrade, because in the cloud space, AWS, Azure, it went from 10 services to thousands of services. You
Right.
don't know that now you can change your uptick in a storage to a new type of storage, and it's more storage, but it's cheaper than the
Right.
original storage, and you're actually operating the same way, because the amount of time to stay current in all of those is, I think, where customers understandably don't have the time, or to dedicate a resource to that. They're doing that once a quarter or once a year to say, hey, can we let's look at this real quick. Can we save anywhere? Whereas you come to Tango and we'll do all of that. We'll let it all happen and just feed you the information so you can operate your business and then action the things we tell you to action based on your needs. Hey, you don't need that 24/7. No, actually, I do because I have contracts and SLAs over in Europe. I need to run 24/7. Fantastic. Let's ignore that optimization and we kind of keep moving. So Tango has to learn the organization's business as well. But I would say those two, shadow IT, and then just try and operate as efficient to new services coming out.
Yeah, the shadow IT is 100%. I'm just thinking,
Yeah.
as a marketing person in corporations,
You just
especially
hear it
when this
over
stuff,
and over.
it was, there were websites that existed, there were servers that existed, all sorts of SaaS services,
Right.
you name it, on credit cards, on, expense accounts. It was a mess.
Sometimes mergers and acquisitions would cause
my
it. Oh, that
yeah.
came through
And
that
that never
organiz-
happens
yeah.
in telecom either. So
Yeah. Oh, never, ever once.
So what are you investing in next? What are you looking at
Sure.
for the next 5 years?
So I would say in the next 5 years, we're definitely going to see more focus on Kubernetes to AI GPU on the infrastructure side. That's an area where organizations really are all trying to get into. And when there is like a gold rush dash to get into something, the chaos starts happening that I was talking about before. So you're spinning up tons of services, you're trying projects, you're trying to wow your CEO. Now you've got live projects happening that we have to reduce. On the SaaS side, we're noticing governance. So organizations start to understand that, okay, it's actually might cost when you take all of my cloud vendors and subscription licenses put together. Sometimes it's more than my AWS cost because it's against every single employee. But the governance, that takes time. So something that can automate and say, Paolo and Russ are having used these 3 vendors over 90, probably they don't need it. Or remove it and let them ask for it again and make sure you're optimizing your bucket pools of licenses to what you need. So every time you're in a new negotiation, you're good. And your team's coming in, spinning employees down, spinning employees up, have a nice little utility to governance all of that licensing component. So I think on the SaaS and infrastructure side, those are the 2 key areas in the next 5 years. And we're going to have a lot of work to build up, not just can we get the data, the services around them that make them nice and clean and work at an enterprise grade. Because that's where we're focused. We're looking, Fortune 500, mid-market, enterprise market, large enterprise, and we got to be kind of ready for that.
Now, I know this sounds sacrilege,
Sure.
but when you're not thinking about B2B clouds,
Sure.
what are you doing in the off time, Paolo?
So, my hobbies. All right. So I have a growing family. I have a wife and 2 boys, 11 and 7. I play soccer still myself. So I play for an over 30 team here in my local town, and I coach both of my boys. So I have my
you're
parents
busy
live with me, my in-laws. I have a big
Nice.
open house. So we're running a hotel here, and just every day's families, soccer, sports, kids.
Trying to find a quiet place.
Looking forward to a podcast with you, talking about our awards to get away from it a little bit.
All right, so we got a little quick fire. These are
Sure.
just short, fun answers about you. What's
Okay.
the first tech gadget you ever loved?
My Packard Bell computer that I
Oh,
got.
wow, that's old school.
Yeah, very old school. That, and then the kid in me, my PlayStation 1.
There you go.
Absolutely.
All right,
That was
so
immediately.
you have good perspective on this. The AI hype, is it overrated or underestimated?
I think the hype is overrated. The cost is underestimated.
Oh, that's for sure.
So on the hype side, it's going to do great things. It's already doing great things. There's really cool projects, but we talk about even here at Tango internally, right? Not for for ourselves. It's don't do it just for the sake of doing it, to say you did it. Implement something that causes help to you or your customer base. That is so valid, but careful of the costs because right now it's priced to whatever they want.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I do find even in our work that you'll spend a lot more time doing the AI work than you would have done the work to begin with.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. We're going full circle on that.
Yeah. All right, Jets or Giants?
Giants,
Mets or Yankees?
Yankees.
Oh, you're true old school. All right. Paolo, thank you for joining us. Really a pleasure talking to you and getting insights on FinOps and optimization of expenses.
Russ, thank you so much, not just for this great interview, but also considering Tango and awarding us this. We are very happy and proud. One of the biggest things for Tango, especially for me, trying to come and break into this massive cloud world is telling people we do this and we're good at it. And everyone goes, but aren't you telecom and mobile? So credibility is so tough in a saturated world. So the becoming FinOps certified as a platform and one of the few that are getting these Stratus Awards, recognizing it, it just allows us to say, see, other people also say it. So it's tremendous for me personally, but for the organization. So we thank you very much for that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's well deserved. Judges were very clear in their
No,
scoring, so
thank you so
very,
much.
very, very easy to tell.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you again, Paolo. We really appreciate your time and good luck next year. We'll have to see what you guys bring to the table to
We will be
really
back
stand
for
out again
sure.
next year.
Thank you.